Good evening. How is everyone doing? Thank you for joining us tonight. I am Lady P. You have joined us on the Women's Roundtable Talk. I am your host again tonight. I do have two guests coming in, Angela and Angelique. They should be coming in shortly. Hi, Elder Shirley Rusher. Thank you for joining tonight. If you just joining us, would you please click and share? Thank you, Gloria, for joining us tonight from Red Oak. Tonight we're talking about domestic violence. Um, I came up with that because for the month of March, they was talking about women's history and also the abuse of women. So domestic violence is abusive behavior for someone. They say most of the time it's a spouse or boyfriend, but it can happen in other ways. But anyway, tonight we're just going to talk about it. And then we talked about private violence tonight. So private violence is abusive behavior behind closed doors. So when you think about a lady, child rather, go home, your home should be safe. Like I said on last week, when you go home and you close your doors, it should be a safe place. But unfortunately, in 2023, we are still having issues with domestic violence at the hand of a lover, boyfriend. And because this is a women's talk show, um, because this is a women talk show, try to address the women's tonight. So, hey, thank you, Angela. Thank you for coming in.
Hello.
All right, I thought I saw
Hello.
Angelique. Did she pop in and pop out?
I didn't see her.
Okay, I saw her. I saw it was two people. Okay. Well, anyway, I was just telling everyone that we're talking about domestic violence tonight, and the topic is private violence. Private violence is something happens behind closed doors that no one can see.
Correct.
And most time when it happens behind closed doors, and then sometimes when a woman's getting abused, she don't say nothing.
Yeah.
No, that's why it's private. A lot of times, you remember who used to say that a long time ago? What goes on in this house, what? It
Stays
stays
in
in
this
this
house.
house. And I
Yeah.
think that's okay, but I think that's not okay. It depends on the
Correct.
situation. But anyway, yeah. But
Hmm.
anyway, so this is my guest, Angela. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Hello.
You're looking beautiful tonight, as
Thank you.
always. Yes. So
Thank
anyway,
you.
you can introduce yourself. She is a guest. She has been on my show before. She
Yes.
came back. Thank you. And like I say, Angelique is supposed to be on here shortly. But
She's
anyway,
gonna come in.
yeah. So Angela, you can introduce yourself and just kind of talk about domestic violence. And again,
Hmm.
like I say, the topic tonight is private violence, things that go
Private
on behind the
violence.
closed doors. And also, you can give the audience your definition of what domestic violence is to you.
Hmm. I'm Angela Taylor Fisher. Hello, everybody, coming to you from Red Oak, Texas, and I love this women table talk. I love it. The discussions are amazing. They're necessary. They're needed, and
Yes.
so tonight is another great topic. Domestic violence is, um, to me, it's battery. When I
Yeah.
hear domestic, it's I think of beating somebody, putting your hands on them. And then I know sometimes people consider domestic violence. They may even consider it to be mental or emotional. Abuse is abuse.
Hmm.
Um, and so when I hear domestic violence, it's locate. It's something that's being done to you by somebody close to you.
Right.
Um, and normally we relate that term to spouses or people in relationships. But private violence,
Yes.
that's deep. That's when that person is just so afraid they don't want to tell anybody, they don't want nobody to know. Domestic violence to me, Pam, brings shame and humiliation to the person that's on the other end of receiving end. It's so much tied into that.
Right. And the thing about it, behind closed doors, a lot of things
Mm,
happen behind closed. Even children get abused behind closed doors,
yes.
and they won't tell anyone, because they're afraid. And like I say, the lover or the boyfriend that abuse a
Yeah.
woman, and we're talking about women, and I know men get abused too, so I don't want to leave
Yeah.
them out. But
Yeah.
I know, like I say, a lot of times, when a person is getting abused,
Hmm.
and it just happens sometimes. Like a woman, she might leave and she have a black eye.
Mm-hmm.
That private violence right now is in the public now.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she is showing that she come to work with shades on, you gonna say, why you got shades on at work? You
Everybody
know,
knows.
yeah, everybody knows something is going on. So anyway, and like I say, I consider myself a private person, but I think private, it need to have a balance to it. I guess that's what I want to
Mm-hmm.
say. Because the thing about it, you can be private, but have a balance to that. If someone is hurting me, I still I should tell, and like I say, sometimes we have that fear in us that we better not tell, because if you do, he might do something worse. So, like I said, a lot of women
Yeah.
today, they're in their graves right now
To this
because,
day.
yes, because
Mm-hmm.
they was being abused and they didn't say anything. Or,
I,
go ahead.
mhm. Like from our experience in ministry, counseling women,
Mhm.
I've met and counseled a lot of women that have gone through that domestic violence, and they're looking for the right person. A lot of them to confide in,
Right.
because they don't want their business to be exposed or be looked down upon. And what I found with a lot of those women that I came across, they were threatened to say anything about that man. They
Right.
were told, if you tell anybody, especially in church,
Right.
mm-mm, they were told, they were threatened. So a lot of them are afraid to tell because they're fearful of their lives or their children's lives.
And that's true. That is true. And you know what? And the thing about children, just think about the children that's sitting there watching that.
Yeah.
They sitting there seeing their mom get beat. Man,
Mm-hmm.
that's we talked about mental health a while back on the show. That's got to
Mm-hmm.
be something mentally going on with that kid, because that kid can't really function
Mm-hmm.
properly to see their mom get beat.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So Angelique, thank you for
Hey,
joining us tonight.
Hey,
Angelique.
ladies.
And
Sorry I was late. I was trying to
that
log in.
that's
Yeah.
okay. Well, we was talking about domestic violence, which is for the month of March, and
Okay.
the
Mm-hmm.
topic is private violence. Because most things happen behind closed doors,
Yeah.
and it's not
Mm.
talked about. So, like I say, Angela, she was talking about, you know, about just touching base on what's going on behind closed doors, and because, like you say, what happens behind closed doors, and what happens in my house stays in my house, and how many times people back in our day, in my day, used to say that you don't discuss anything that's going on in my house. But
Mm-hmm.
no, you should discuss anything. But if it comes to violence, when it comes to a
Mm-hmm.
woman, man, or child,
Mm-hmm.
elderly person, you should talk. You should tell somebody. It's
Mm-hmm.
not fair for a person to get abused.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fair. No one. That's
Right.
unwanted. That's unwanted. What? That's unwanted licks. Whatever. Of being abused like that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
Angela, you can continue. Then we're gonna let Angelique talk about private
Mm-hmm.
violence.
Well, one thing I know that I could say about like domestic violence that I've been noticing, this takes place. It's been some years now.
Mhm.
When you're going to the doctor, they have you fill out the questionnaire. They're asking on that questionnaire, do you feel safe in your environment? Do you feel like your
Yes.
life is threatened? Have you been seeing that? Have you been to the
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
doctor?
yes,
They're
Yeah.
actually being proactive to give people that opportunity to get that help they need. And
right,
when I'm, and they're, and I'm praying that people will put yes if that's their situation and not be afraid, because the doctors and things are trying to confirm to the people it's safe. It's
right,
safe. So I'm glad that I'm starting to see that a lot.
right. Okay,
Yeah.
Angelique.
Mhm.
Okay. So I kind of came in. So what are you
Yes,
asking
we're
what?
talking about domestic violence for the month of March, but the topic is private violence, things that's going on behind the closed doors,
Okay.
abuse behind closed doors.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've experienced that, and I know a few people that have. And what I find is a lot of women are dealing with that just to stay in relationships. They're
Mhm.
dealing with the mistreating, the abuse, um, the even not only physical but mental abuse,
Yes,
dealing with just trying to stay with a man, and watching their kids be abused, just trying to hold on to that man and hold on to their relationship. But what I found at the end, it's not healthy for the person that's going through it, nor the child, because you're
Right.
raising a child and you're letting them know that it's okay for a man to abuse you and abuse their children. Well, they'll grow up and do the same thing. And I know a few women that have done that. And I'm thinking to myself, sometimes we have to stop thinking about what's best for us and what's best for our children. And
Right.
so
That's true.
um,
That's true. So
I
why do you
say
think
that.
that? Why do you think that a woman would stay in a situation like that for years?
I cannot say because they don't know no better. I can't say that. I used to think that. I think because they're trying to hold on to something or
Hmm.
someone,
Hmm.
or they're too afraid to leave,
Sorry,
because
y'all,
a
my little
lot of
doggy.
abuse,
That's okay.
physical abuse, comes with the mental abuse. Is if you
Right.
leave me, I'm going to do this or do that.
Hmm.
And you just got some sick men out here too. And I
Right.
know, I've heard people say, well, women are abusive too. But I believe a lot of people stay because they are too fearful to try to move forward, or
Right.
they don't really have anything to move forward to. This is their life. This is what they've been dealing with. And they're thinking, okay, well, one day he'll change. One day he'll stop, mentally and physically. And it never
Hmm.
does. It either ends up in the grave, he end up in jail, or,
Right.
it just depends on the
So
situation.
everyone is a victim. The person, he going to jail, the children,
Yes,
everyone is. So
yes,
that is
yes.
true. Yeah.
And it is a lot of domestic violence going on. This you would be
Hmm.
amazed
Yeah.
of how much, especially, even now in our younger generation. I look at the generation under us.
Hmm.
uh a lot of these girls are thinking that it's okay for a guy to call you out your name, or mistreat you, or
Hmm.
hit you, or slap you, and you better not say nothing. And I'm like, oh my God,
Right.
it just
So
concerns me with that.
that's true. So what are the signs, like the beginning signs that you feel like it's domestic violence? Like the beginning signs, is it?
When you put your hands on me.
Right, right, right. So yeah, that's true. Like I say, I would say if you just push me first, it could just be a push.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
You
when a
know,
man gets so angry. Yeah, when a
Mm-hmm.
man gets so angry where he feels like he has to physically touch you,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you already know. If this conversation got him to that point,
Yeah.
somewhere down the line, it's going to get a little bit more further.
Of
That's
Yeah,
true.
course, I
yeah,
believe that.
That's
a
true.
little more
And
I
like
believe
serious.
I
that.
talked about the push also, it could also be because he can throw some furniture across the room. Just pick a chair up and throw it, or punch
Mm-hmm.
the wall.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't hit you,
Oh
but
yeah,
he hit
if
the wall. So that kind of anger was like that
Yeah.
was like a
Yeah.
red flag for me.
Yeah,
yes,
I agree.
yeah,
I agree because you're going to see the signs if you
Yes.
really look and pay attention. And no, most of the time, you're not paying attention. You're just thinking, oh, he just had a bad day, or oh, he's upset. But it's there. The red flag is all in your face. We just kind of don't see it until it starts hitting us personally.
Hmm.
Because if you see that anger and it's like uncontrollable, that's a red flag. Like Pam say, if he's easily upset, easily irritated, and he throwing chairs and hitting
Right.
the wall, it's just a matter of time before it's you, and then after you, it's the kids. And
Right.
yes,
I've seen that. I've seen that. So, um, I think sometimes I know we as women, we want things to work. We want
yes.
our relationships to work. We want the fathers to be present in the kids' lives and all of that. But like Angelique was saying, at when it's that crucial, you have to start thinking about yourself because I've seen the long-term effects in the kids.
Yes.
After mom finally got away from him, it shows up still in the kids because
Of course.
that's in their in their subconscious. So
Right. That is
Yeah.
true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But like I say, I mean, when I think about domestic violence, like you say, this is 2023.
mm,
And we have a lot of agencies out here for that, can help people, but they're not getting the help. It's not
mhm,
it's not that the agencies are not there for them, but the people are not coming in. And you know what? I'm gonna say an incident about someone I know that was being abused. I went to the agency with her, and I sit there and heard the lady that I took and the lady that was talking, and she said that uh, I don't know what the percentage was, but she said most of the ladies that come in here, they drop the
mhm,
charges.
mm,
But see, now the state is picking it up.
mhm,
Yes.
If you
Mhm.
hit somebody now, the state don't care about you dropping nothing. They're gonna pick it up and they're
Yeah.
gonna, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's a good thing because to me, the state is helping them because they have fear in them. And
Mhm.
the only reason that they're dropping those charges is, like, okay, I just dropped it. He loved me. He didn't mean any harm. Which, first of all,
Yes.
is not even love.
Right.
A lot of these young
Yes.
girls, like you say, the boys are fighting them. They think it's love. That is not no love.
That's
Love
love.
is
Yeah.
not going to hurt you, huh?
Yeah. And you're right about that. A lot of them do think that, well, that's his way of showing me he loves me. And to me, it starts at home. You know what I'm saying? With mom, if they
Mhm.
used to seeing it through their parents, then that's the
Mhm.
mindset they have. But
Mhm.
when you teach your children, hey, a
Yeah.
man don't love you when he put his hands on you.
Mhm.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, I think that they get it, and that's one thing because I am a battered woman, and
Mm.
that's something that I have went through in my
Mhm.
early years of living. I
Mhm.
schooled my girls, and they
Uh-huh.
ain't
Yeah.
they ain't feeling. You can try them if you want to. But
Angelique,
I
let
mean, but if I didn't get that mindset, or if
yeah.
someone that come and tell me one day, Angelique, he's hitting you, he's hurting you.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had my nose broke, I've had my
Yeah.
teeth knocked out, I've had my eyes black, and I've had all that. It took someone to say to me one day, and I got it then. That's not love.
It's
Right.
not. Mm-mm.
Don't let nobody hit you in your mouth and say I love you. If you wouldn't have did this, I wouldn't have did that. You made
Mhm.
me do this to you. What?
No, I didn't.
And it
You
Right.
took
did that.
someone to tell me that. And so as I got out of that and I started getting strength by praying and asking God to help me deliver him from me and deliver me from myself, because
Right.
me, a peacemaker, wanted to try to make it work. I
Mhm.
sit there and I dealt with it, and I received it and I accepted it. And then
Mhm.
I asked God, please remove that from me. And once he did, I was able to teach my girls, don't you ever let a man put his hands on you. If it gets that serious where he got to put his hands on you once, pack your
Yeah.
stuff up and go. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
a lot of comments
Mhm.
coming in. Gloria said, and I'm sorry if I didn't read y'all comments. Patrick had one something. Gloria says some women don't want the man to get locked up or go to prison. They just want him to get out the house.
Mhm.
No, if he get out the house, he's gonna come back.
Yes.
He
Okay,
gonna come
so
back.
okay, here's Patrick. It said, "How would this information get someone who is being controlled through violence and fear?" And I'll let you ladies answer that.
How or
How would
what?
Patrick said, "How would this information get someone who is being controlled through violence and fear?"
I
The
guess the
information.
conversation that we're having,
Hmm.
I
Oh,
think that's what he's saying. Like, how is the information we're giving
Given,
going
yeah.
to get someone through violence and fear?
Hmm.
Um, the first thing Angelique said was, you got to pray about that. You got to pray about that. If you're a praying woman, everybody's not a praying woman.
That's right.
yes.
Angelique, to talk about, and I'm gonna go back to that question, how to get through violence and fear. I saw my mom be in an abusive relationship.
Hmm.
One time when we were little girls, me and my older sister, we would holler and scream. He was slinging
Right.
her all around the room and all this and that. But she did the same thing with me and my older sister. After she got out of that, she said, "Don't ever, allow man to hit you or beat you or think anything like that." And I
Yes.
remember when she first met my husband, and I'm laughing because Angelique said my girls don't play that. When
Right.
she first met my husband, she said, "Now she a fighter."
Right.
So if don't put your hands on her. I remember my mom
Yeah.
telling him that.
Yeah.
She said, "Don't put your hands on her. You bring her to me and let me
Yeah.
deal with her." She said, "But don't touch her because she will fight because she had raised us to defend ourselves."
Yeah.
And so, we're zero tolerance with that kind of relationship. But how does the information get women through the violence and fear? We're encouraging them. That's
Right.
why I feel like we're giving them inspiration and hope. Angelique is sharing her testimony of how she survived it. And
Yes.
so that should encourage somebody else to understand, hey, I can get out of this. I don't have to stay in this.
That's
And
true.
I would say talk to someone. Talk
Yeah.
to someone. This is how this is going to help you get out. We're having this discussion, and it might not reach all around the world. It'd be great if it does, but it's
Yeah.
some people that might not ever see this. But talk to someone. That's your first step. Let someone know what you're going through, and this I guarantee they're going to put you on a path. where you need to get out of the situation, that you can get out of the situation.
Yeah.
And don't feel like you have to totally rely on, and that's what's wrong with our younger generation. They think it's just, oh, it's just a thing. It's okay. He's not, he don't mean it. He really don't want to do this. No, no, talk to somebody. I say that's the first step. Talk to someone.
Mhm.
Because like Angela said, everybody don't know to go to God and ask God for help to get out of situations. I said, go to talk to someone and let
Mhm.
them be your map to getting out of the situation.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. Like I say, like I say, even if it's we're talking about private violence. Even like I say, when it's private behind closed doors, it depends on the bruises on you, it will become public.
Mhm.
Yes.
And women
Mhm.
have came to the public, and their friends or someone have say, "Are you okay?" "Oh yeah, I'm fine. I fell." You ever heard that? So
Yes.
they fell,
Yes.
or they hit the door, hit them.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like I say, it takes that person to speak out for them, because like I say, they're in fear, like someone said on the comments. The guy put fear in them, so you better not tell, you better not call the police.
Mhm.
And there,
Mhm.
there are some countries that a man can beat a woman and they will do nothing.
Yes.
I'm
You're
not
right.
gonna mention, the
But I know the countries you're talking about.
yes,
It's
because
okay,
it's okay.
and it's
Like, they hustle to beat
encouraged.
them, because my
Yeah.
friend came from over there and she
Mhm.
came here, and the
Mhm.
guy, he was beating her, and
Mhm.
someone told her, you can call 911, don't you? She said no, because in my country he can beat me, and he can fight me tonight, and we can have sex tonight.
Baby. I know something to that.
So she
Yeah.
realized,
Thank God we in America.
Thank you,
but
Jesus.
she
Thank
is
God
so
for Jesus.
grateful. She is so
Yeah.
grateful to be in America,
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
well, when he did hit her the last time,
Mm.
she called 911.
She did.
Wow.
Mhm.
She said, "Thank God for America."
Mhm.
You
Thank
know
God.
what? And I want to say this. You know what? I've been through. I mean, I've been beaten bad enough for crime scenes to come out
Right.
and take pictures
Mhm.
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
investigate and stuff. And I've been in that predicament. But you know what? I always have to give God the glory, because
Yeah.
at the end of all of that,
Hmm.
He came in and He gave me forgiveness in my heart. That was my
Mhm.
strength. That was my
Mhm.
first step for getting strength.
Mhm.
Forgive him for what he's done. And
Right.
I made up in my mind from that day forward, another man could never lay their hands on me, because it's just not gonna work out right, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But
So,
you have to forgive and move forward. Don't
mhm,
feel
Mhm.
like you can forgive and stay, because God has delivered you and helped you
Yeah.
out the situation. But if you stay in that situation, it's not helping if he don't get delivered.
that's true.
And
So
a
my
lot of
next,
people feel that way.
Yeah.
right, my next question is, can an abuser change?
Oh yeah, anything is
Yes.
possible.
Okay. So if
Mhm.
Oh
he's an abuser, he's used to beating on women, can he change?
Mhm. Mhm.
yes.
He
Oh
has to
definitely.
want to. He has to see that there's a problem. There is an issue. You
Yes.
know, I know a couple like that. It took him a while, but he did. He did change.
And then she hung in there with the relationship.
Mhm. She hung in there. Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Years. Like they're older. Like they're in their late 60s, and yeah. Mhm.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
I mean, that's good if you can hang in there. But
But I wouldn't advise it.
oh no, I wouldn't advise it either. I wouldn't even advise going back to that person. You know what I'm saying?
Woo.
Because that person do need to get help.
Mhm.
But once that person is away from you, you might say, well, I don't really want to. I mean, he done changed, but let him change for somebody else. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you have the
No,
because you
for real.
have yeah,
Yeah.
for real,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you have the scars there. You might not see the black eye anymore, but
But
inside,
mentally,
Of
it's
yeah,
there.
course.
here, the scars are
Emotionally,
there. Yeah.
yeah.
You might just like raise your hand to like say hi, and I might think you fit to slap me because that's what I'm used to.
No, and
Trauma.
I'm ready to
You're
fight.
traumatized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's not good. I mean, like I said, I can't tell a person to go back, and I can't tell a person to stay. But all I can tell a person is to get out.
And get some
If
help.
you're in
Get
if you're in
some. Yeah.
yes, I can
Get
tell them to
Well,
get
around.
out.
domestic violence is real in our
Yeah, it
Yeah.
country.
is.
It really it
Yeah.
is really real. And like I said, I don't know how much y'all see in our younger generation,
Mhm.
but a
Yeah.
lot of the younger women are going through that. But it's some
Mhm.
of them men that are going through that too, because there's some fighters out there. These women that are wanting to fight and feel like
Mhm.
every time a man cheat on them and stuff like that, they can
Mhm.
hit them and stuff and
Yeah.
change
Yeah.
them. No, you cannot. You can't.
Right.
So I mean, we really have to come together, and I think this topic right here is very important. Hoping
Very.
that people can see it, or somebody will spread the word that you don't have to deal with this. Even
Hmm.
with mental violence is mental abuse is just as
Just as
strong,
bad.
That's
just
Just
as
as
true.
strong.
bad.
And I know a lot of people that deal with that, and they
Mental
feel
and
like, oh well,
emotional.
that's just the way he talk, or that's the way she talk. Oh, it don't bother me, but no, it's not right. It doesn't make it right.
Mm.
Yeah. Who's that? Was that Renita? We just buried my niece. She was only 30 years old. The funeral home stated to us that they bruised over,
Buried.
oh,
Oh.
buried, I'm sorry, over
Hmm.
10 teenagers just last week from domestic violence. Oh
Yeah.
my God. And she
Ooh,
said teenagers.
Yeah.
Jesus, really?
Hmm.
Wow.
Ooh,
Okay. I'm so sorry, Miss Pryor, about your niece.
Hmm.
yeah.
Um, I think Lamarck Thomas did talk about that.
Hmm.
What's
And
praying
it's
for
really
her?
sad that, man,
She
she
was
hadn't even
20.
lived her life.
She was 20. That's what
She
she
was
said in the
20
comments.
years
Her niece
old.
was
Oh
20.
my
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord, yeah.
Yeah. And then, like you say, they burying the teenagers.
Hmm.
Wow. But like you say, the
That's
teenagers now, they let these guys hit them and then they think it's nothing. They call them out their names. They call them the B's, the
Oh
H's.
yes, that's it's like norm. Um, I've never seen so many young men, and men, period, hitting these women. You know, you see it in these little social media videos and TikTok, and they are
right.
literally fighting women as if they're fighting another man. I saw
Yeah.
the what was it the guy at worked at the airport,
Right.
and the woman made him mad, and she hit him first, which she shouldn't have done. And I mean, he ran her through them little chairs you sit in
Yeah,
at
I
the,
saw
you know
that.
how they all connected,
Yes.
and he got her by the ankles. And I mean, he was a
Right.
big dude, and
Right.
he was literally swinging at her like he was fighting a 300-pound man. And I said, what have we come to where men, and again, don't nobody have a right to put their hands on anybody.
That's true.
But when men are slugging women, I ain't talking
Hmm.
about hitting. I'm talking about slugging
Yeah.
them like they're boxing, like they Mike Tyson, and knocking women out cold. And
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
where do we get to this? Even if you're not in a relationship, violence is violence.
It
That's
is.
right.
And I'm like, where are we? How do we get to this place where men and women have gotten so disrespectful towards each other? In my day, I don't remember men just boys fighting.
Never.
They'll walk
Yeah.
away, you know.
Yeah.
And but now you touch them, they are knocking these little girls out. I'm sorry,
They
they are
are.
knocking these little girls out.
I want to answer a question. I seen Gloria said she was making a comment about a lot of people don't want to they don't want to see these men go to prison, so that's why they drop charges. And
Mhm.
that is so true. That's because they are holding on to hope that maybe that person will
Mm-hmm.
change. So they
Mhm.
go through and they go down there and drop charges. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
guilty of all of that. I went down and dropped a couple of charges, and probably 2 or 3 months later we was back at it again. And
Right.
so, and you think to yourself, well, I'd rather have you out here than to have you locked up in the system somewhere. So we do it. That's what we do. We allow them to do it. We call the police, and it's at some time that you have to come to yourself and say, you know what am I calling the police for if I'm gonna keep going down there dropping the charges? Either
Right.
I'm gonna stay in here and just die like this, or
Right.
I'm gonna separate myself from him and move. And
Right.
so I think it has to be a choice within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You are right. I know a couple of people that have done that, that have been and gotten beaten up and stuff like that, and went down and dropped the charges. A couple months later, he's back at it again. So
Right.
yeah,
And you know what? And then let's talk about the restraining orders. Do it work?
no, not if they really want to get to you. No,
I've never known. I don't think restraining orders work because in order for it to work, the police got to be there to see the person
Hmm.
going
yeah,
against the order. They
yeah,
Hmm.
don't respect restraining orders.
yeah,
I don't think they work.
Well,
at all.
when the women steady telling someone if he's gonna kill me, he's saying he's gonna kill me,
Mm.
and then the police come out when you don't have any scars. That's what they look at. They look at that. I don't
Mhm.
see. You don't have a black eye. You don't have any bruises on you. So guess what? They write it up, but then they walk away. But
Yeah,
how many
and
have
that's
they?
crazy.
Yes.
Because eventually they end up doing that. I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of cases like that. They
Yes.
eventually kill them,
Kill them.
and then they
Hmm.
say, well, that's what she said. She did call 911 and say
Hmm.
that.
Right.
I don't know. I think y'all, we really have to come because we have recognized this and because this is so real. And
Mhm.
like the young lady said, I mean, 20 years old,
20.
20,
Mm-hmm.
And then, like she
domestic
said,
violence
other
at
teenagers
20.
have been, yeah, that's, oh, wow.
Yeah,
10 a
we
week.
we
10 a
that's
week.
something we need to pray. We need to come together and
Mm-hmm.
pray about because that's scary. I got grandkids coming up. I got a teenage
Yeah.
granddaughter, 15. 5 more
Yeah.
years, 20?
But
You
No.
know, the
how do we reach the teenagers though when it comes to domestic violence? And I mean, it happens in all ages, okay? Us, them too.
mm-hmm.
But with the young people, like I say, I'm not saying they don't take it serious, but when it happens, they just okay. He
It's
loved me,
normal.
We
huh?
have to go to
It's
where they
normal.
are. And let me
Yeah.
say
Well, we
this.
do, we do.
No, and let me just say this. When
You're
I
right
say
about
go to
that.
where they are, social media is such a big platform to
Yeah.
stand on.
Yeah.
You could really get anything you want out on social media,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's
Mhm.
good, bad, evil, whatever. You can get it
Right.
out, and it takes women like us that have been through it, that have seen it, that have survived it, to get on the platform and say, "Hey, if you've ever been hurt,
Yeah.
if you've ever been abused." You got to get on social. You got to get on Facebook and all these other Instagrams and stuff because that's where
Right.
they are. That's where they're learning a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
That's
Look
it.
at all the violence on there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
people actually getting on here killing people on Facebook,
Facebook
And committing
Live.
suicide, and committing
yeah.
suicide.
Yes,
So we
live.
have to get out here on these different social medias and put it out there. This is not what love is. This is not
Yeah.
reality. This is not
Mhm.
the way your life have to go. If a man
Right.
is cussing you out and talking bad to you and putting you down and making you feel like you're nothing, you don't have to continue to do that. Because
No.
there's so many abusive men out here. And I just
Mm-hmm.
believe that they're not happy with themselves. So if they can
Mm-hmm.
get, if they can make you feel bad, misery loves company,
Mm-hmm.
as
Yes.
they say, then they'll do it. That's what
Right.
they do. And they only do it to the
Yeah.
ones they think they can get away with it.
Or they're allowed to get away with it.
With
Yeah.
that.
And it starts within them. Nobody ever has a reason to hit you. Really, I don't care what you've done, said. Nobody has a reason to put their hands on you. And it starts with what's going on inside of that person. Everything we're saying is true. It's within him. He's not
Yeah.
happy with himself. He's not where he wants to be, he or she, because it goes
Right.
both ways. And so they're taking out their insecurities and frustrations on the innocent person. And because that the old statement is people hurt the person that's closest to them.
Yes.
Yeah. And then so they hitting and hurting that person because of what's going on inside of them. Go
Right.
get some help, brothers. Go get some
Yeah.
help, sisters. Go get
Right.
some healing.
Right.
Because you don't have the right to hurt anybody because you're hurting. And that's that man or that woman's responsibility and accountability to own up and say, you know what, I got to deal with
Mhm.
me. And then it's the woman's responsibility to say, well, I'm gonna go over here and live my life while you over here
Right.
getting your help. Because we
Yes.
can't live together
That's
That's
true.
right.
while
That's
you
true.
broken and toe up because you
Yeah.
tearing me up.
That's
And it's
true.
education,
Yeah,
um,
Elder Shirley Russell.
their
Yeah.
mindset. They really
Education, I believe, is a great way out, and that's
correct.
true.
You
We
got to
have to,
teach
we
them
have to
and
educate
help them
ourselves.
change their mind.
We got to believe that we don't deserve that too.
Correct. What she say? Validated, and yeah, they need to feel validated and
Yeah,
taught. Yeah,
And it
that's
starts with
good.
us, ladies. Honestly, it really
yeah.
does. It starts with someone that has been through it or that is educated enough on it because they've seen
Mhm.
it through other people to say, hey, ladies, you don't have to do this. You don't have to go through this.
Right.
Correct.
You really don't. So it's up to us. And I know I try to share, my testimony as much as possible because,
Yeah.
like I said, you just never know. Like you said, this is private behind
That's
closed
true.
doors.
Behind
Hmm.
closed doors, and
And
you
a
know it.
lot of times, and
That's
I'm
true.
telling you, I know a few ladies that are friends of mine that are going through some things, and
Hmm.
although they don't never say it with their mouth, you can kind of just tell somebody's spirit when it's broken because
Mhm.
they've been mentally abused, talked to so bad, or mistreated so bad until they feel like, oh well, I'm just gonna
Right.
deal with it. And I always just leave that door open. I'm here to talk to you if you need me,
Yeah.
because you have to be able to tell it. That's your first step, to be able to express to someone what you're going through or how you're feeling. And I
Hmm.
think once you do that, that's your beginning. That's the beginning out of it.
That's
Yeah.
true. But like I said, again, the agencies are out here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 1-800 numbers, they put them on the TV. If you know anybody that have experienced domestic violence or you experience it, call this number. But
Yes.
like I said, a lot of times, like someone said on the comments, fear. They put
Yes.
that fear in you. You
Hmm.
better not call. You better not tell your mama. You better
Yeah.
not tell your
They
daddy.
threaten them. They threaten
Right.
them. And you need to like it's so important to have a good support system
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
because the good support system, not them folks over there telling you, child, he'll get over it, baby, he'll
Yes.
grow out of it,
Mm-hmm.
go on back and stay in for your family. To me, that's not a good support system because
No.
Mm-mm.
why would you tell me to stay in a violent situation? And
Yes.
you're not looking out for my best interest.
Right.
Right.
um, Having a good support system is so important because you're gonna get weak when you're trying to get away. You're gonna
Yeah.
feel tempted to go back. You're gonna feel
Mm-hmm.
he's already ingrained in you a guilt trip,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
You
Right.
made me hit you because so
Yes.
you already feeling guilty and feeling like you owe him something. And so you got to have a good support system, these young ladies, to have somebody snatch them up and shake them. So, baby, come on, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You almost there. It's
Yeah.
very important to be surrounded by that. And Angelique, I want to share something, and I'm not going into detail about anything that you and I have been through in our friendship, but I remember that situation.
Hmm.
I remember you in that situation. And I remember you called me one day, and you remember that we went downtown and we was driving around trying to help you take care of your business.
Hmm.
And I remember you called me. You probably don't remember. And you were like, I need your help. And I said, okay, I got a day off during the week. I'm going to come get you and we're going to go take care of business. And we drove around and we couldn't find the right place. We couldn't find the right place. And even though I didn't tell, I don't, it was, we were so young. We were
Of
really, really
course.
young, Pam, in our early 20s. But I just remember feeling like I need to, I don't know what else to do to help my friend,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to do the best that I could do. I think I even told you if you want me to go handle him, I will.
Ride or die.
Because he
Ride or
told
die for
Angelique,
life.
he said, that little
Yeah.
friend with them light eyes, she crazy. Because I
And
was
that's
like,
what he say.
take it on, come on, I'm ready for him, honey.
That's
But
right. That's
it's
right.
so important to have good support system and people who really understand and not judge you, not
Yes.
criticize you, and just be there to help you. It's
Right.
really, really, really important.
Yeah,
And
and
Right.
sometimes
I'm
listening,
thankful.
I really have to say, sometimes listening to people
Mm-hmm.
is the beginning of healing. When
Yeah.
someone is coming to you, don't always give you opinion, but they listen.
Hmm.
That makes you give you a security within yourself to say, you know what? I know if I could tell anybody this story, it's her. I can
Yeah.
talk to her
Right.
about it.
Right.
And you never know that person you're talking to really, because that could be the person that's praying to God to say, Lord, deliver her.
Right.
Hmm.
Help deliver her out of this situation. That's why I
Yes.
say talking about it is the
Yeah.
first step.
That's
Find
true.
somebody. Yeah.
And Gloria was saying something about she see boys and girls verbally and physically abusing each other. And I know she's talking about the school system because I was in the school system for 25
Yes.
years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whew. And like you say, you want to talk to them and not get cussed out because a lot of them feel
Yeah.
like it's not your business.
Yes.
Oh, she said this is common in the secondary school. Okay,
Wow.
well, yeah, that's true. You know,
Wow.
I saw a lady one time. She went to tell her mother-in-law that her son was jumping on her.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
The mother-in-law asked her, "What did you do?"
Wow.
Wow, what did you
That's
do? Why
Mm-hmm.
did you feel like she had to do something to get hit?
So
What do
Pam,
y'all
let
think?
me
What do you think
ask
about a statement about that when someone asks you, "Well, what did you do?"
let me ask you,
Mhm.
do you have y'all seen in domestic violence mothers defending their sons?
Mhm.
Yes. And this is what I'm saying. She was defending her son, but
Mm-hmm.
the girl she said your son is hitting me, and she
Mm-hmm.
had her face covered, and she
Mm-hmm.
said, "Well, what did you do?" It's like, oh my
What I didn't
god.
do is what I'm gonna do.
Well,
Mothers
I'm
need to
saying,
stop.
you would think that
I ain't do nothing at that time.
you would think that she being a woman. and she's
Mhm.
a
Wow,
woman that
that
you
is
would like,
something.
you would get on your
Mhm.
son. But she asked her, "What did you do?"
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that's something, because come on now, this girl is like you say. When a person do reach out for help, you talking about having a support system. That's a bad support system.
It is.
Yeah,
You should be addressing the son, but
Yes,
mom, a lot of moms won't do that. They
I'm
won't
not
do
gonna
it.
take her for my son.
I
I'm
am.
gonna take her
Me
My
for the woman.
either.
son, I
If
mean, I
you
can
hit a
only tell
woman, I'm
you.
gonna get you. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, my son. You hit a woman, I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna
yeah,
get you.
Because don't put your hand on her. I'd rather for you to walk away.
Yeah.
Or, matter of fact, especially if you're not married, get out the relationship
Yeah.
and go get you. Matter of fact, get you some help because you don't even need
Yeah.
nobody else. For
Yeah.
yeah,
real.
Yeah.
yeah.
You need to go get some help because you don't need to be in a relationship if you have that much anger. I just think a man, I mean, what would cause a woman to do something this to make a man hit her? What could she possibly do to
You know what I
that he
tell
would
my
lose it?
boys? What I tell my boys is you cannot control a grown person.
No,
Mhm.
you
You
cannot.
cannot control
Mhm.
another person.
Mhm.
You could tell your kids what to do, but eventually, as they get older, they start doing
Yeah.
what they want to do. You hear me?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
You cannot. You think you're gonna control their mamas? You can't control them. They grown women. They ain't your wives. You ain't married them. You ain't got no ring on their fingers.
Yeah.
We're trying to make them do things that you think that they need to do because you said it. Who are
Mm,
you?
Right.
No, you
That's good
cannot. And
advice.
that's the best.
Yeah.
And the same for my girls. Don't be trying to control nobody to make them do stuff that you feel like they need to do. It don't
mhm.
work that way.
Right.
It does not work that way.
Right, that's true. So, if you just joining us tonight, we are talking about
Yeah.
domestic violence, private violence behind closed doors. A lot of the violence that is happening today with women, children, elderly men are happening behind closed doors. It becomes not private once it's out and someone see a bruise or something on a child or a woman or a man. But domestic violence is not. It's no good. We do have agencies out here. There's a 1-800 number that's scrolling at the bottom that you can call if you are experiencing that or if you know someone who needs help.
Yeah.
Please call that number. Do not sit back and take the abuse because most women, not saying all, have wound up in the grave.
Mm.
Yes.
And they do not have a voice to talk. They don't have a voice to say anything. So if you are listening to us and you are experiencing, I'm talking about verbal, not just physically, verbal abuse, calling out the names, pushing, hitting
Mm.
the wall, throwing chairs across the room. All of that is a form of the beginning of abuse.
Yes.
Yeah. So, ladies, I'm telling you, it's really it's a sensitive subject.
It is.
So many people are in it. I think about every time I drive down my neighborhood.
Mm.
You look at the houses, right? You don't
Yeah.
see
Mhm.
no activity going on. That's how I look at domestic violence.
Mhm.
I wonder what's going on behind that door, at that house right there, at that door. You don't never
I
know. About
know
three
You
you
doors
never
down,
know.
never
there could be
know.
somebody
Yeah.
being
You never
abused.
know.
You never know, but you don't think about that in your neighborhood. Like somebody down the street getting beat up right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They getting abused right now. Some
Yeah.
child getting molested right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's sad, but like I say, that's why it's a private violence. It's
Mm.
behind closed doors and nobody's talking about it. If
Mm.
they don't come from behind those closed doors and tell somebody, then
Yeah.
they cannot get no help.
Mm.
Yeah.
They
That's
can't, and
sad,
it's
really.
sad.
It's really sad. It really
Yeah.
is. It's heartbreaking that people are
Yes.
in a position where they feel like they're being abused and they can't talk to
They
anybody
can't
about it. They
talk.
can't share. They can't.
Right.
They're just suffering in silence. Private violence is real.
It is real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I have a friend that wrote, she has a program called Silent Scream, and I wanted her to be on for the month of April with sexual abuse, and she's
Mm.
unable to do it. But I tell you what, you can go to her website, and it's called Silent Scream, and it's men and women who are being abused sexually.
Mhm.
And I really wanted her on
Really?
next. Yes, it's called
Yeah.
Silent Scream because she's saying that you're screaming, but can't nobody hear you.
And
It
nobody
is
hear
so
you.
Oh.
powerful. It is so powerful. But like I say, a person is they're screaming. They're asking for help. Some of them are asking for help, but they can't get the help. Like you say, if the support system is not there, you gotta have. And then most times the abuser he'll violate you, and he'll take you from your family.
Mhm.
You don't have any
Isolate you from your
friends.
family.
You
Mhm.
done messed up with your mom and daddy.
Yep.
You can't call them now because you know
Yep.
he'll
Wow.
isolate you.
I'm looking.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Angelique.
I was looking at Miss Pryor's comment. She said she's glad that she don't know where the young man's mother lives because she knew her son was beating on her niece. But the son also got charges for beating on the mother.
Yeah.
Hmm. Wow.
Wow, girl.
Beating on the mother. Now, I'm not shocked.
Ooh,
I'm not
that's so
shocked
Yeah.
because
disrespectful.
working in the school system,
Mm-hmm.
I had parents that were afraid of their kids.
Yep. I've seen
What?
it. Afraid of their
Yes,
children
ma'am. When I was
because
in
they
the
were
school
beating
system, I
on them.
had parents afraid of their children. And I told them, huh? I say, what? I wish one would do me. Any of my kids.
Like Bill
I'm
Cosby
sorry.
said, I brought you in this world and I'm going to
Right.
take you
Yeah.
out.
But you'd be amazed, like she
Lord.
just said. There's some parents are
Wow,
afraid
that's
of
Oh,
their
yeah.
something.
children.
Yeah. Afraid. And the kids beat on them. They're like teenagers, but they beat,
Yeah.
they rough handle and beat the mom. I've seen that.
Elder Shirley said, I married rather young and my husband was
Mm,
abusive. He attacked me when I was pregnant.
mm,
Pregnant.
mm,
Oh, Jesus.
Mm. Elder Shirley, I'm going to stop right there.
mm,
I'm gonna stop right there because that's a flashback for me. I'm just gonna be honest. My mom was
mm,
pregnant, and she was 9 months pregnant when my stepdad used to beat her in her stomach.
mm,
My sister, right today, have a nervous condition because in when you abuse a woman, do you know that child feels all of that?
mm,
I tell women when you are pregnant, what you drinking, what you're smoking, what you're eating, your emotional state, that
mm,
baby feels all of that.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Elder
Elder,
Shirley,
yeah, Elder
Yeah.
Shirley. I mean, God bless you, because I mean,
hey,
I
I
read the rest
know
of your comment, and that took strength right there to be able to do
Mm-hmm.
that,
that
to pick
did.
up your child and move to another state to get away. Man, God blessed you to be able to. You have a story to tell too, so
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it
that's
would be good to
true.
share your story as well.
And you
Yeah.
don't never know what anyone is going through.
Yeah,
Never.
And I tell everyone, be careful how you talk about somebody.
Yes.
You don't know their story. You don't know what they went
Yes.
through.
yeah.
Yes. Be careful. Be careful.
We
Because
put our
Wow.
mouths on people and say what we
and
would
don't
do,
have
what we
all
should
of
have
that.
done, how we should have did it. You can't do that.
You don't know what you're gonna
Yeah,
do until
not if
you
you
get
never
in
been
that
in that predicament.
situation.
That's right.
Yes.
No. But the
And here's
best person to talk to
mhm,
someone who have experienced it.
who have
See,
experienced
Elder
it.
Shirley can tell me something because she was there. I mean,
Yeah.
we all
Yeah,
Yeah.
can say something. Angela
Yeah.
can
yeah,
say something.
yeah,
I can
Yeah.
say something. Angela, you can say something. If
Yeah.
it's
yeah,
not just you, it's somebody you might know.
Somebody you
Everyone.
know.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, my my
Mm.
my younger sister's dad, he was tried to be abusive to my mom, but by then, she didn't deal with it. But I remember when she had my sister, she split from him. She broke up with him at 8 months pregnant, and she let him come back when my little sister was probably like 6 months old. And I never forget the night we heard him trying to fight her, and it was
Mm,
me, my older sister, and my cousin. And when I tell you we jumped up, I grabbed a hammer. My sister had a bat. My cousin had a knife, and we walked tall in that room. And he said, "Y'all crazy," but we were protecting my mom.
that's right.
And he left, and he never came back. She never allowed him to came back, and it's just is bouncing off her Elder Shirley's comment.
Mm-hmm,
It
mm-hmm.
took so much strength and courage to say no, never again,
Right.
Yes.
and that's how women get out of that situation. And I wanted to say real quick about like not judging people because we don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
Mm-mm.
Those men that are abusers are very good at hiding it in front of people.
Of
They be
course.
the nicest guys, they
Mm-hmm.
be the
Yes.
coolest guy, they be deacons in the church, they be all
Yes.
kinds of stuff. And
That's right.
people be like, not him when they do hear about it, but yeah, him. Don't put
Him.
nothing past
That's
nobody, is
right.
what I'm saying.
Don't get
And that's
blinded
true.
by
When you
that
talk
too.
about people in the church, you got pastors that beat their wives.
Oh, I've
Of
heard of that.
course. Of course.
You
I've
have
heard of
pastors that beat their wives, and then, like I said, there's a profession. I ain't gonna mention that either. I don't know if I can, but the job is so stressful. They go home and beat their wives.
I've heard of that.
Wow.
Their job is so stressful. You think about these professions that you know
Yeah.
out here, people
Uh-huh.
trying to protect and serve.
Yeah.
They go
Uh-huh.
Wow.
home and beat their
Oh,
wives.
you talking about the men in blue.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
the men in blue.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the domestic violence rate is very high.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when I did hear about pastors or beating their
Oh
wives,
yeah. Mhm.
I
Giving
mean,
their wives black
Wow.
eye. First lady sitting on the front row with shades on.
with shades on.
Uh huh. Mhm.
Oh, I thank God for Jesus.
I do too.
Look, he
Pastor Fish
sent me
better
a
thank
good
God for
man. Thank you,
Jesus.
Jesus. Thank you, God. He
Yeah.
know what I needed because
Better thank God for
my husband
Jesus.
don't come with that violence, and I thank God, and I pray
Thank
to God he
God.
don't never change. The devil
Thank
Well,
get out
God.
the way.
Exactly.
that's
Because
good. That's good.
Y'all gonna hear
Well,
us on the news.
right. Okay. Well, they look like Angelique or Ross right there.
who said, yeah, the
Uh,
pastor beating their wives? Who said that in the comments? Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, they
yeah.
do. They do. And I mean, I didn't realize till it's like a lot of them started coming out and saying that they was abusive, and it's like
Mhm.
what?
wow,
And it's
man
in
of
the church.
God,
It's bad in the church. Do you?
wow,
Wow.
And do
man of
any of you think
God.
that the midst of abuse is taught?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what you see.
it's
Yeah.
what you see, right?
It's
It's
what
what
you
you see,
learn it
though.
by what you see
Hmm.
all the time. Yeah.
Hmm.
I do.
Mm,
I mean, to me, I don't think you just go out and say, "Oh, I'm just finna go beat somebody." I mean,
right.
that's just a demonic spirit right there.
Yeah.
But
And
a
and
lot
when
of
it,
stuff is what we've seen.
yeah, when a
Hmm.
kid sees something, they are being taught.
That's
Because
They're
what
when
they're
being
you
being.
like
taught.
you're
That's right.
teaching them what you show
Yeah.
them. If you
You know,
loving on their mother, if you loving on their mother, you teaching them how to love on another woman.
But if
yes.
you
If you
beating on their mother,
I
if
remember
you
one of my
you teach them
parents
how to beat
said.
on women.
One of my parents said, "I love my husband in front of y'all because I want you to know how it feels to have a man to love you and a woman to truly love a man.
Mhm,
And my
Hmm.
husband truly loves me and I truly love him. So it's nothing
Hmm.
wrong with me holding his hand or
mhm,
kissing
Correct.
him at the dinner table or
Yeah.
mhm,
letting him know that I love you in front of
Yeah.
everyone because I
Yeah.
want y'all when you get older to know
mhm.
that this is the way a man should treat you.
Correct.
That's
And
right.
Correct.
that's something I held on to from 12 years old. You know what,
Yeah.
you're right. That's what I want. I want
That's
that.
Yeah.
right.
And that's what
Yeah.
I show and I give. And I thank God for having that in my life too
Hmm.
today.
Angelique,
Yeah.
Patrick, he has
Yeah.
a comment down there. Read that and you answer that one.
What's the advice for a woman with low self esteem who believes that can
Mm.
They can't do better.
I know, and it's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like I said, I feel like the first step is telling somebody because maybe I might be that person you tell. You know, my husband's been beating on me or my boyfriend's
Mhm,
beating on me, and I'm the one that can come and tell you, hey, you don't have to deal with that. That's not love. That's not, I can encourage you and constantly let you know, here's my number. You call me
Hmm.
whenever, to get yourself out that situation. Let's see what we can do to help you get out that situation. The first step is just talking to someone because I know a few young ladies that have low
mhm,
self esteem,
mhm,
and
Hmm.
every chance I get to encourage, I do.
Hmm.
You
mhm.
know, that's the best thing I can say to do about that.
So Patrick says, so then if this taught, then is the abuser at fault? Or should the teacher be held accountable?
The abuse is at fault.
Yeah, he
Because
at
it's a
fault. He is
certain
the
age
teacher,
you get
right?
in life. It's a certain age you get in the life where you know what's right and what's wrong. Just because
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
seen my father beat on my mother all the time,
Right.
when I get older, I know that that's not right. I know that
Right.
Correct.
it's not healthy.
Yeah. So if
Somewhere
he
in
hit
your
that
mind's
woman, he
eye
know
need to
it's
be
not
corrected.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, you
And,
know.
and what do the word of God say? Let's just get with that. It say that you supposed to a man supposed to what? Treat his body like he would. Treat his wife like his own body.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Supposed
Do
to
you
love
do
his
you
wife like
abuse
he
your
loves
body?
Christ. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, but do you abuse your body?
And if you do something
Yeah.
mentally wrong,
Something wrong with you.
You think you okay, you sitting there
No,
doing yourself like this
no,
here. Do
for
you
real.
do that? No, you do
yeah,
not.
something's mentally wrong.
Yeah, we got
Wow.
23,648 views tonight.
All
Wow,
right now.
hallelujah.
Well,
Yes,
hopefully we are helping somebody.
yes, yes. So
That's a
anyway,
blessing.
yeah, but like I say, you want a man ain't gonna be a man. He already think he all of that anyway. So you
Yeah.
should think of that about the woman that you with. She's all of that.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, like
And
you
why do
go.
you want to hurt her? Me and Patrick watched a
Yeah.
movie about a pastor that was beating on his wife, but he was sleeping with another woman in the church and
Mm.
stuff and treating
Right,
her better than the wife.
the
My
wife,
thing to the person that he was sleeping with, if he's doing his wife like that he been with for all these years, what makes you
yeah,
any different?
What
because
makes you think he's
most
so
women,
special?
most
Yeah.
women don't think that he gonna treat me like that.
But he will
Come on now, because guess
eventually.
what? If okay, just like a woman, if you cheat with this man and he get with you,
Mhm.
You don't think he gonna cheat on you?
He will.
It's in him.
Come on now.
He will
It's in
eventually.
him.
Which way is up is the
The
movie.
movie.
But I'm saying, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know that what they call it
Come on, get
karma
out
now.
there.
But you know, they
Yeah.
call it karma now, but you okay, what did Patrick say? He thinks he is all that because a woman told him he is all of that.
Well, they don't give him
You
no
say
right
your
to even put
husband.
his hands on a woman. Yeah, I don't care what he think.
Yeah, but now you ain't supposed to beat on nobody. Come on now. Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves
Right.
nobody deserves you to even call them out their name. I don't even want
Correct.
you to call me out my name. You know my
Yeah,
name.
I
Correct.
don't
My
play
name is
that. Don't
my
don't
name is
call me.
Pam.
No,
A
Right.
because I
baby,
get
a
defensive.
boo, a sugar pie, or something.
Yeah, you better put something else.
Don't be call me out my name like you say. Cause then, like I say,
Hey,
and then you push me one day. You say, "Oh Lord," but see,
and I
I
know
think
God is a.
huh?
Go ahead, go ahead.
I think we seasoned women, we kind of know that them younger generation.
We
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
help them. We gotta educate them, like they said.
We
We
gotta
gotta
No,
educate
for
them,
educate
real.
them and
sis.
let
We
them
gotta
know.
educate them because it's like, come on
Yeah.
now, hey, you gotta think better about yourself. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I tell
Value
people, love
yourself.
yourself.
Know your worth.
You got to
Yeah.
love yourself. If you don't love
Hmm.
yourself, you'll take stuff like that.
Right. If you don't love you, then how's somebody gonna love you? You got to
Right,
love you first, right? Because you're
right,
teaching the person how to love you, right? And so if you don't know how
right.
to love you,
Right.
they're
That's
not gonna
right.
love you like you deserve to be
That's
loved.
right.
And a guy that's beating on you, he don't respect you. He don't care
He don't
nothing
know
about
love.
Yeah,
you.
no
He don't know
respect.
love.
He
No
don't love
respect.
you. He don't respect you. He don't care nothing about you. Especially when he out there got a side chick, and then he treating her better than you, and
He
she
don't
just
love her
think
neither.
and it's just a matter of time before he gonna get her too.
Yeah, he don't love her either. He don't know how to love. I
We
mean,
need to come back and talk about the side chicks. I'm sorry. we need
Ooh, okay, thank you. That's a good
no,
time.
for
Hey,
real.
yeah,
to
we
come
need
back
to
and
talk
talk
about
about
That's
that.
these
Yes,
right.
side
Elder
Right.
Sharon,
chicks.
we got to love ourselves.
Woo!
Love
I
yourself.
love me some Pam Pam, honey.
Oh yeah, you got to
Yes,
I
start.
love me.
yes,
Ooh, I love me some Pam
yes.
Pam. I tell
You got
you,
to
and
start that.
it's in a good way. It ain't no
Yeah.
bad way.
Right.
It's just I'm not gonna take anything. You can't just talk to me any kind of
Correct.
way.
You
You can't
can't
call me
bring
out my name. You can't just say anything to me. But anyway,
you
yeah,
can't
we
bring
running
no
out of time.
people
This has
into
been
it.
good.
Yeah, we need an
This been
extension.
good. Thank y'all for joining me.
All
Man,
right.
this has been good. I hate to even end it tonight, but if you
Yeah.
are joining us tonight, he said, "Yeah, laugh out loud. That side chick is a show. Yeah, we're gonna talk
Okay.
about the side chick that y'all. Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
I ain't gonna play with him.
I like that
Exactly.
topic for real. We're gonna
Who
talk
gonna
about
play
that
with
side
him?
chick. We're gonna talk about the benefits of being the wife and the foolishness of being a side chick. But
Yeah.
anyway, thank you, ladies, for joining me tonight. It has been wonderful.
Great
Again,
topic.
if you are joining us, please like and share. Thanks for all the comments, the
That's
one that
right.
we
Miss
read,
Ruff.
the one we couldn't read. And ladies, y'all got to come back, right?
All
Amen.
right.
Now I'm talking about the side chick.
All
Oh
right. I got
yeah.
you. I want to be on that conversation.
All right, y'all
Oh
have a good night.
yeah.
Good night, y'all.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
good night.
Thank you, Glory, Elder Shirley, and Miss Pryor. Thank you for joining.
All right then.
All right, bye bye.